Be young.
Yo, 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 yo. Yo, 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 yo. Yo, 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 yo. What's up? What's up? You got it, you know I get it. You win it, you know I fit it. I speak it, you know it's written. You talking but never listen. Yo, 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 yo.
Welcome back!
That was lame.
I would have been lamer.
Culture Shock episode 4. And we're back.
4.
And we're back. This is our first episode since December.
2018.
A lot has happened.
Wow.
We got married. I'm just kidding. No, we didn't. Soon though. As in a couple years. Anyway, let me stop. But in all seriousness, yeah, we was on break, and I didn't want to do it without, anybody. I was gonna do it with my brothers, but decided not to. So yeah, I decided just to take a break and gather my thoughts, get some ideas going. New content coming soon. But first topic is we want to start off. How was everybody's break?
You can go.
My break was good. It wasn't really a break. I worked the whole time.
A lot. That's what you're gonna say.
That's it.
My break was pretty chill. I went out of town a couple times.
Where'd you go?
I went to Virginia Beach,
Mm-hmm.
and then I went to Nashville. So it was pretty chill. Nashville was like a super last minute type of trip. I had to pick my brother up. So
That's fun.
yeah, I got me a couple of my friends and we went down.
I do like Tennessee. I wouldn't live there,
Why?
but I like, cause I don't know, just like, the things I want to do with Tennessee is just not
The state.
the state. I want to do that,
Oh, okay.
sports wise,
Okay.
not a whole, it's not a huge market. But I love Gatlinburg, and it's
I've
a
never
good,
been.
it's an excellent vacation spot if you like the wilderness and horseback
You like the
riding.
wilderness?
I didn't say that. I did not say that. But for like weekend getaway, just to.
I see. I
Get away from
like
the
horseback
city?
riding. I like horseback riding.
I like
No, I do
horseback
like
riding.
horseback
I
riding.
want to go horseback riding, but I see I have to find a place here.
I'm from the city.
It's a Turkey Run.
Who?
It's about 2 hours from here, but
See, I can just wait till I go home and drive like 20 seconds away from my house.
yeah. It's only, it's like 45 minutes from Indy.
How much your break finds?
I didn't do much,
Okay.
honestly, which is good for me because you know what I mean. I'm always going. I went to my alumni basketball game. I'll show you guys some clips of that.
Did y'all spend time together over the break?
Yeah.
Yeah, a little bit.
That's what's up.
What day?
We Dave, we went to go see Spider-Man. Love that. Went to the movies
Oh,
twice.
Peter
Saw
and
Spider-Man
Rose. What her name? Rose? It was
and
Mary.
Mary.
It was Mary. Rose is off the Titanic. Oh,
Mary
I
Jane.
drove.
But it wasn't that. It wasn't really. Well, Mary Jane was in it, but it wasn't
Well,
really.
Saying that because you're a redhead.
Wow.
I forgot.
I didn't even think about that.
Wow. All right.
And we saw Aquaman, which also has a red head.
We didn't see that together,
I know.
but we each saw.
We both saw it.
And it does have a redhead. She's fake redhead. That's not fair.
Okay.
It doesn't count.
Oh,
She's very protective over her redhead people.
Yeah, because there's fakes.
I love redhead.
Thank you. I saw a lot of redheads today. I was a whole family at work.
Did you know there's a
7
day?
people.
Did you know there's a day separately for you?
I did.
What day is it?
I also get emails. There's a.
National Redhead Day, or National Is it National Ginger or
I think
Redhead?
it's redhead.
Okay. I'm like, I didn't know. We're looking up when it's National Redhead Day. November 5th.
It's close to my birthday. Cool. Many redheads have felt like outcasts for having red hair. True. And there's also like a redhead society online. They share like tips.
Community.
Yes,
You know what that
because
reminds
we
me
get
of?
bullied.
You know what that reminds me of?
What?
SpongeBob when Squidward moved into the community of Squidwards.
Mm-hmm. You know, it's all fancy.
Right.
See, I swear,
School
I
you
subscribe
fancy
to it because I get emails and it's like, how to keep your red hair from fading.
Your red hair will fade into blonde or something?
Yeah, a lot of old people that were redheads, they go blonde or brown. But we never really go gray, it's usually blonde.
Well, that's cool.
It's very interesting.
My girl got on the dean's list.
Oh,
Sorry, I was
yeah.
reading her. She got on the dean's list. I was reading her emails. Sorry. Right.
Yeah, I'm really proud. Oh, that's not nice, but
She was my resident. Now she's like my
See?
sister.
How to be a redhead.
She's my wife.
And that's my brother.
I should go. I don't read them as much as I should.
But
Beauty tips. I got everything.
as they look at redhead, how to be a great redhead. So, as you know, as we all know, Martin Luther King Day just passed. What does that day mean to you guys?
You can go first this time.
To me, like, that's a day of peace and reflection. Whether the reflection is good or bad. But that's a day of, like, remembering, looking at where we've come from and to where we are, even though it doesn't seem like we want to be where we are. I mean, even though it doesn't sound like we are, y'all know what I'm trying to say.
Mhm.
The word's not coming right now. But, and then just like, so that's like the reflection, like thinking about like those who've gone before us and like how they've helped to pave the way for us to continue to pave more ways for like our future generations, and just being like thankful we've had those, because we could have been stuck. So.
Well, I'm white, but it's still an important day. It's especially important.
Wait. Does that, so white people can't celebrate the day? Like this day is about like
No, we can.
black people and white people coming together.
That's a great question.
Yeah.
Because like that was civil rights movement, all that. Like that
Yeah.
was literally like trying to defeat slavery and segregation. Like we were trying to come together.
Yeah. But I was gonna say, like, it's a little different for me.
Oh, okay.
You know. But it's especially important as a Christian too. I think because Martin Luther King Jr. did it from a Christian standpoint.
Because he
And
was
he
a
was-
reverend.
Yeah,
Sorry.
he's really impactful for everyone, and I think it's good for people to realize that Christianity does do good things, because a lot of times we think of them as people that oppress more than anyone else,
Yeah.
and that's not the case. And all other than that, it is a day of peace, and I think it's important for everyone who has been oppressed in the past. Like they all kind of can come together and agree that it's an influential day of the year to remember, like, people have gone before and fought for everyone's equality and freedom, because they don't celebrate that, like, one person who did that significantly, you know? Not a lot of other holidays like that.
That is true.
Like there's not another Martin Luther King Jr.
Was it third?
No, but you know what I mean. Like even for women, like
Yeah.
there's not like a woman that has a day like that. So nobody has made an impact quite
You're right. You're right.
quite
about
like that.
That is true. This day means a lot more now that I'm out of the house and out to the real world in college. And let you say something. And like when you're a kid, well at least when I was a kid, it was just meant I gotta dig out of school. Like it wasn't a big deal, and a lot of my teachers didn't make it a big deal. Not saying it's their fault, but I mean they did teach me a lot of things about other people who don't mean anything to me now. But it means a lot, you know, and people need to realize like how big of an impact he really, like he just, I'm not gonna say single-handedly, but he was the leader of a whole movement that put, you know, problems into, the stage, like put problems to the table, and he said we need to fix these problems because sick of the oppression that's been happening since we got here, and we were forced here. We're the only people who didn't migrate here. All the other people migrated here were immigrants. We weren't immigrants. We were literally forced here to do their bidding. But we helped build this country, and he feel like that we should have a bigger part in the country. And yeah. So I think that's why he's a big deal. And his work still is going on, because it's still it's not necessarily a step back. It just things hasn't really changed, because through the 80s and 90s, you didn't see, because there was no cell phones. People wasn't recording the police brutality. There was no social media. But you had things like the Rodney King movement, which is one of the first instances of somebody stopping and recording police brutality and how bad racism can be. And it just needs to change. And I feel like it should.
Definitely.
So, as a future educator, what do you think you could do or you will do to teach your students about Martin Luther King and the truths of slavery and whatnot, more than my teachers did to me?
Well, okay, first I guess I should start off. I went to a really diverse school, and Martin Luther King Jr. Day, we didn't get that day off, but it was dedicated to talking about that kind of stuff. And it's not like we talked about the issue of race, because it's kind of a touchy subject and a lot of people don't want to tackle it. And it's honestly...
Which is a crime in itself.
Yeah, but it's hard to do too, because people do get really upset. But I think I had really good teachers that did teach me like the truth and the importance of it, because I've never felt like I didn't know that it was a really big deal and a bad thing. Like some people have, like on the events that we've had at school, in college, they're like, I didn't realize it was the way it was because I wasn't taught that way. But I feel like I haven't, like I've already been aware. And it does have to do with that my school was diverse, so I had teachers that were African American and everything. And so I guess like following in their footsteps, like we did a lot of projects about like, we had Martin Luther King Day projects. You could make like, you could do plays and you could perform them in front of all the schools in Wayne Township. And if your projects were picked, you would present them to like faculty, and it was a really big deal. So I think that's one way that you can do it, because kids will know and remember that significance. Like if they get to perform it and present their stuff and theirs is chosen, that'll stick with them.
Most definitely. But I feel like that's huge. Like that's something that should be started.
And it's recognizing a positive about it too, like the overcoming of it, not just focusing on the negativity, which they need to know that it was negative too, but
as a child, it's easier to...
Yeah. It's really hard to tell kids that bad things happen.
Yeah, you know, but and like as a child, it's easier to be like, this is what he wanted, so this is what we're going to do, this is what we're going to portray, and this is what you should do in your life. You know? So.
And that's a goal for you too. If you see a problem, that you can be like him and do that.
Yeah,
it's possible.
Since on our campus, the subject of race and just like race and police brutality and stuff like that that's so relevant in the news is a touchy subject to a lot of people and is not really talked about. How, as a community, as a university, can we bring these subjects up without
Fighting.
And making someone feel cornered and upset?
It's hard because it's easy to feel like you are being cornered. It's easy to feel attacked because we we have a long history of being separate and being different. I know I'm pretty level-headed. I feel like people can tell me what they think, and I don't typically get mad unless like I know the person really well and they're just annoying, or I'm annoying. But I think you have to develop a relationship before you can do that, because it's just like if you had any other problem in your life that might be a touchy subject, like anything, like literally, like if your parents are abusive or something like that, you're not gonna just come out and tell someone something that means a lot to you that they might not understand.
Well,
You know?
well, yeah, I understand that. But what if you getting to know someone isn't an option? Like at a big setting like a university, and you hear someone bring up the subject of race
Like how
in
you
a
join.
classroom or anything like that, like.
I don't know.
I feel like if you're bringing it up in a classroom, that should be an automatic, this is a safe space to talk about this.
Yeah.
Okay, I agree.
Or before you all, if you hear someone say something or you have something, a question about race or whatever, like, you stop that person, like, you not stop them, but say, hey, if we're gonna go into this subject, is it okay if we discuss some things before we go into this subject? Because we need to be on some mutual grounds. Like, it's literally how you speak and like what you say. Like, you gotta communicate. Like, if we're gonna talk about this, let's talk about it.
Mhm.
Now, I agree with what you said as well, to piggyback off of you, because like I have friends here that didn't necessarily feel comfortable asking questions about the black race.
Right.
And I was like, well, I can't speak for the whole entire race, but I can speak from my point of view and what I know and what I've learned. And if you have questions, I know that you'll be coming to me for answers, and so I'm open to answer those questions.
Mhm.
And if I feel offended or like you say a question the wrong way, like that would be up to me to help you with that so that you know how to approach that.
Yeah.
So like I feel like it could go both ways.
You need to build trust, definitely.
Yeah.
I would say it's really hard to talk to someone you don't know about stuff because you don't know how they will react.
Yeah.
And you don't know what they're gonna say that you won't perceive the way that they meant it to be said because you don't know them and where they're coming from. But I guess just be gentle with your words and open-minded, because you can't do anything without being open-minded.
So do you
You
feel
can't even-
comfortable talking to me about race?
Yeah, I feel pretty comfortable talking about it with anybody.
Okay.
Yeah,
But that's just me. I've been around some people.
I don't have, any problem telling people how I feel.
Yes, we know.
I just, but I've never had the chance to have a conversation with somebody that I don't know about race. But I feel like, so I need to know, like, I'm not trying to offend nobody. So I ask Emily like, all the time, how do I go about this? And it all starts with, a conversation. Like, I don't yell at strangers. I don't yell a lot. I just talk loud. And people mistake that for yelling. I just talk loud. But I just feel like people should talk about it more when it, especially around this time, the end of January, February. This is an important time, and people, you see police brutality, and you see the division between race starting to show its cracks and stuff like that, which leads to my next question. Do you think the conservative political party is associated with racism? Like, is it a mask for racism? We talked about this earlier.
No, I think people attach that to them.
Right. Because I don't feel like that.
It doesn't have to be that way. It tends to be that way because of the demographic. I will say that, like the demographic
Yeah, of course.
is what people, the image of it. But at the same time, I know lots of people that
Yeah.
are not racist.
I feel like the Conservative Party is not associated with racism, but I think racists mask their racist ways through their Conservative Party views.
Yeah, people find ways to defend it through that. But racism has nothing to do with politics. It's not an issue that they talk about when politics come up. That's not, it's not supposed to
Well,
be.
not until this president came up. We haven't.
I wouldn't
Yeah, the
say
current
that.
one.
I wouldn't
I
say
guess
that.
I'm
Like, I feel like when it comes to politics and racism, it's downplayed, but at the same time, is like
They kind of
ignored. Like it's
It
kind
is
of.
ignored, yeah.
So that's the thing, like, but I feel like you can't say racism and politics in the one sentence without saying racism and just how the world is,
Mm-hmm.
or how the country is
the
ran,
country is, yeah.
or how the country is, because there's racism all over. It's not just in politics.
Yeah.
It just kind of seems like that because of who we have right now and what he stands for, and so. And this isn't the first time, I'm pretty sure, that it's been like this. So it's just like, even when we watched 13th, like,
Yeah,
when they had the
we're
different
gonna get to
presidents and
that
stuff,
later,
it was
yeah.
just like,
Mhm.
it wasn't the party that was racist, the people who had the face of the party, who were the face of the party. So it was like,
And okay, if you think about Barack Obama was Democrat, people kind of put that on that side, and everyone who's running against him is on the other
And
side.
people were saying, is he even from this country?
yeah.
Donald Trump was the leader of that. He went on The View and said, where's his papers? He's never shown anybody his birth certificate. And the only reason he said that because he's a black president, and I don't have no problem saying that, because he didn't do that with George W. Bush. He didn't do that with Bill Clinton. He didn't do that with Daddy Bush. He didn't do that with nobody. He only did that with the black president because of his name.
But anyways, like on top of that, like to piggyback off, another thing is like there was something good. I forgot. It was like back to the faces and the stuff.
Face of the party. It was.
Yeah.
I think I kind of know where you were trying to go with that with the person in office today, 45.
We attach racism to conservatives also because of that.
Yeah.
Because that right there just was like, okay, they're not voting for Donald Trump, they're conservative and they're racist. Like, that's another.
Yeah, and I mean,
There are some truths to that. However,
what's the time on the phone?
however, it's like,
Keep it flipped.
once again, it's more of the
No,
face,
it's raising
it's
too late.
more of the people who have the face of the party.
Right. And well, Trump's rhetoric has been like horrible, very divisive since his campaign trail, which is just horrible. I mean, inciting violence on protesters at his rallies. Nobody's done that. Barack didn't do that. Nobody has said, if I was him, I'll slap him in the face, or I'll punch him, or I'll kick him.
All right, this is a heavy subject,
Yeah, we don't need to
and
talk
we're
about
gonna
president.
let's just leave this alone because
That's not where it was meant
this
to
is
be.
not where it was meant to be. Also, we're just gonna leave it right here. We're gonna leave it right here.
Next.
All right, let's leave it right here because like it can be for another time. However, tonight, no, definitely no.
But
Like I'd rather be when there's like when we're able to be not have to worry about backlash.
I want to have a lot of. We'll come back to the subject when there's more of us. I want to have like a town hall-ish thing where we bring in all types of different people. Fallon is joining us full time, by the way. She's on board with us for the long run. And we have a couple different people who we have in mind who also want to come on the show, just to see what it's like and whatnot. Yeah, so if you're interested, please let me know, let Fallon know, let Emily know. We're looking for more diversity.
And not just with race,
Yeah, I'm not talking about, diversity in the mind.
athletics,
Yeah, I'm the,
education.
yeah.
18 or 20?
Our last subject of this episode is
Yeah.
Oscars. But yeah, it's 2019. 2018 was last year.
I know. I was
Don't
like,
say her
that's
out
a
like
little
that. You
old.
can't say her
That's
out
a
like that,
little
yo.
old. I was like, wow, I felt like that was forever ago. So how do I get there?
Does OscarGo.com or something?
But
Hollywood Reporter.
my Oscar
Sounds bad.
Best Picture, I think is gonna win is Black Klansman. I love that film. If you haven't seen that film, I told y'all in episode 1 to go watch that. It's on DVD. It's a very good film. It's very relevant now.
It's right there.
It's excellent. Black Panther is also nominated.
It was
Well, it's nominated for Best Picture.
What movie is this?
Bohemian Rhapsody, so good. Excellent, excellent, excellent
Oh,
film.
That's
Bohemian
what I mean.
Rhapsody.
Yeah, it's so good.
Vice,
I
didn't
haven't
see
seen
it.
that one.
Want to see it. Green Book, wanted to see it.
Wow, the only movie that I do know that is
Black Panther.
nominated is Black Panther.
I told
And
you.
it's funny because
I
she said that to
that's
me.
the only one I know.
Wakanda.
You know. I don't know.
Forever.
I still wanted to see A Star Is Born.
I wanted to see A Star Is Born.
It'll be on DVD eventually. But so many good movies came out. I mean, I don't have enough money to just be like, I want to see a
Right.
film, you know. But
I don't know.
I love movies. I love movies to death. Best director. Once Spike Lee wins, he's not gonna win. Next man or
What's
something.
this
I
one?
just know that.
Who's-
Spike Lee nominated for Black Klansman.
Yeah, I was gonna ask you what movie was he in?
Roma?
Was he?
Roma's on Netflix.
Is that this one?
That is that's an international film, and it's black and white.
No.
So then it's this one.
It's that one.
No, what is this one?
That one's the Green Book.
I wanted to see that too. I never.
Fonz watches a lot of movies.
Well, it's my major, so if I don't know nothing about
Oh,
movies,
you're right. I read about that.
Not new ones, cause I'm poor.
It's kind of funny how we shifted from MLK Day and how we celebrated to 45 to movies.
you know,
That's a weird combination, but hey, if it works, it works.
It's culture, baby. Culture, baby.
Like,
That's just how it is, you know.
Bohemian Rhapsody was so good.
Is that your pick? You think that's gonna win?
Oh, I don't know, cause I haven't seen these other, like, any of these.
Well, you're probably not.
Why?
Well, you can see Roma. You can see Roma.
why?
It's on Netflix.
Wow.
I've seen it on
It's on
Netflix.
What is Roma about?
I have no idea,
Roma.
but I know.
Rome.
I thought you just said it's good.
Roma means Rome.
I
That's
mean,
what
a lot of people saying it's good, so I mean, I
oh,
go by.
so you're
You know,
going by what you've heard.
what I've heard, yes, I go by what
Okay.
I heard before I see it. But if I've seen it and the critics don't like it, you know, sometimes critics be hating. You know, but
all three of these were very good. I don't know which one would be the best.
Bohemian Rhapsody was excellent, man.
It was really good. I felt like
And Rami Malek should win Best Actor in my opinion, because he had to play Freddie Mercury and he had his teeth out the whole time. And I don't know how he did it, but
Like they had to like
Kudos
put his
to
teeth
him.
out.
Yeah, well, you know Queen? Like, each morning I get up, I die a little.
that's like the
Yes. Okay, yeah. You better sing. She can sing, y'all. She should have me. She can't sing.
That song,
Sing it. Sing
it's
it.
all about his life.
I need you to sing it.
I
Wait. Let us sing. No.
Come on, sing it.
But sing it. Just do the first part you just did. I love your voice. Just give me that one. Somebody to love, girl. Come on.
Sing it.
Just look at me and sing
Can we
it.
do karaoke?
Look at me.
We should have a karaoke episode.
Okay, let's do it. But you're
Not
gonna
right
sing.
now.
Auditions. Emma's gonna be our first contestant.
Yikes. Anyways,
Zoinks.
me.
Zoinks, dude.
Jinkies. I'm done.
Yeah, this one's like, and his teeth are like.
No, what's the song?
I'll show you.
Can you sing it? No, I want you to
You
sing
can't play
it.
that song.
Oh, he sings "We Are the Champions"
That's
too.
copyright issue.
That's not right. Issues, girl. You gotta sing the song.
You can't play it. You can't play the audio. Huh?
So can you just like kind of sing it? Just a little bit. I just want to hear you say that. Whatever you just sang to me that one time to make me recognize the song.
I'm embarrassed.
Why? Come on.
Don't dance.
Just close your eyes.
Okay. No, this helps. I
Nobody's
can
even
feel
looking.
you.
Right.
They're all looking at me.
Come on.
You sang, dude, we've sung
I
together.
know, I don't know why.
Sing
I'm so
it,
scared
girl.
with this
We have-
pressure.
we have-
Okay. Each morning I get up, I die a little. Can barely stand on my feet. Take a look in the mirror and cry. Okay, I'm done.
You gotta sing. You gotta sing the last
You gotta
part.
go to that.
How dare you?
I love her voice. Like, her voice blesses me every time she just sings a
I told y'all she was in the
She sings better.
No,
She sings good. She
No.
sings at every event.
she is beautiful and she does not lose her gift.
She's just a chicken.
Yeah, I'm a chicken.
Moo chicken.
That's a cow.
Well, honey, it's off a Good Burger.
I know,
She
I've
didn't
seen
get
it. I've
She
seen
didn't
it.
She
get it.
didn't get it.
I had a lady today come in and
Yeah,
tell me she was gonna paint a Good Burger picture, and I was like, "What are you gonna paint a Good Burger? How are you? What?"
She's a dude. Dude.
Where I dude's head. I'm a dude. She's a dude. He's a dude. Where I dude's head. Hello.
Why are you so weird?
Strawberry jacuzzi.
You
Oh.
guys are weird.
All right, sorry, y'all.
Okay.
Welcome to Good Burger.
Well, that's episode 4.
4.
Sorry, we got a little deep.
Not really.
But if you wanted to have an intellectual conversation with us,
I just want to say, Em is caught up on all her homework until February.
I really am. I'm over here clicking. I got everything
Already.
pulled up.
I'm sorry. Let me
Ready
stop my
to turn
computer.
in.
I'm so sorry to interrupt you. Ahead.
It's okay.
yeah. You see my
Gotta keep
face?
up myself.
My face was in chapel.
Don't scare me.
I don't know what that was, but get up, get on the. What's wrong?
I'm just waiting.
We are a mess here. Listen.
Just cut that out. Can that be a blooper?
You made me scared.
Anyway,
Is
is there any shout outs? Shout outs?
Shout out to the dean for putting me on his list.
Hey. I thought the dean was a female. Wait, is the dean a female?
Oh, okay.
Dean Copper.
I know.
Wait, is it Dean
no,
Copper?
No, it's the actual dean, and I always do that.
Who was the actual
Who was
dean?
the actual dean?
Provost Morris.
Is the provost?
She's a dean?
She's
She
the one
goes
that
to
sent me the email.
Okay,
Well, I thought
so
she was just a
shout out Miss
Dean-
Morris. You
Dean
know I love
Comfort,
you.
that's his
Dr.
first and last name. His name is Dean. I know.
So he's not a dean?
Isn't that his name?
Who?
Dean.
No, his name is Chris.
His name is Chris Copper.
So he's the dean.
Oh my God.
Okay, bloopers. These have to be bloopers.
Well, I get them all confused.
Wow,
So
I
it
really,
is him. So I was right.
no, I really want you to tell my friends what you just said.
She said, is his
I
name
thought Dean Comfort's name was
Dean?
Dean
Dean.
Comfort.
And it's not.
It's Chris.
It's
She
Chris.
had me confused for a second. And I know this man's name.
Because my email for the dean's list came from Provost Morris.
She's the
So I was like, is
provost.
she the dean? And
No,
his name
she's
is
the
John.
Anyway, we're getting distracted. Shout out to my mama. I love you. And
P.O.P.
yeah, next week we want some more people. So don't be afraid to come talk to us.
Don't
We
be
love everybody.
afraid.
This is a safe space. We can't kick you out of school, so don't be afraid to hold your tongue.
And let's have real conversation.
Yeah.
If you come in here, we're gonna have a real conversation. And this is a safe space.
I'm
Girl.
sorry. I just really
Look
like
at something's crawling. This is a safe space. And I'm open. I'm pretty sure you're open. I'm pretty sure you're open.
Very open.
So let's get it.
We're not mean.
She can speak for herself. No, I'm just playing.
No, we're nice. We can have civil conversation.
Most deaf. Like, I just like to hear others' thoughts and opinions. And if you're wrong, I'm going to tell you you're wrong. I'm always right. I'm just playing. I'm just kidding.
So, Culture Shock Part 2. Bye.
Hey, 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 hey. Get it. get it, 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 get it.